Hello, this is Tim Law with Playing It Forward Coaching and Self-Reliance U. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Playing It Forward Coaching. A lot of great interviews, tips, ideas for athletes, teens, young adults, pretty much any age. I am extremely happy to have a wonderful guest on my show. And help me with the last name pronunciation. I should have checked with you that before.
You know what? I actually have people call me Ann Z. We just make it easy, but it's Zaprazny. So Ann Zaprazny, and happy
Ann
to be.
Zaprazny. Okay. Again, I apologize. I should have got that squared away before we got started, but I know you roll with the punches. Anyway, she's got a great book here. It's called Great Sports Minds Athlete Journal. And anyway, it's a book I really highly recommend. I really enjoyed going through it. I'm not through the whole thing yet, but it came just the other day, and she's going to be telling us a little bit about that. So Ann, why don't you go ahead and give us your story there, and tell us your passions and just what some of the directions you're going in.
Well, Tim, so nice and an honor to actually be here and to actually kind of share the space with someone who has a similar thought and, is on a mission to help transform confidence of our youth athletes, our adult athletes, so that they can compete at their highest levels. So yeah, I'm excited. I just released the book, Great Sports Minds Athletes Journal. And really the reason why I created it is I've noticed that when I work with my athletes, when I give them writing assignments, they just do them, and they do them with passion. And it's typically my most kind of popular exercise is releasing a past performance. I'll have an athlete just take pen to paper, take 5 minutes and write about that performance that they're holding on to. And then when they're done with it, I have them look at the paper and then rip it up and release it. And kind of metaphorically, it's just like, let it go. It's over. What matters most is what's in front of you. And so I created the journal to really help athletes use the power of writing to reduce stress. And was very intentional in terms of how I crafted the book to help athletes navigate, learn, and think about the positives in their day.
Very good, very good. One of the things, and again, you talked about us kind of being on the same page and everything, and I like the idea that obviously we want to learn from certain trials and tribulations. However, like you say, we don't want to dwell on it because it's a type of thing where, I'm a big believer in short memory, where, okay, yeah, there's an error or a mistake or whatever. Okay, learn from it, re-drill some things or whatever you have to do, but don't get caught in the quicksand of, that negativity. Because I think that, just trying to stay up and resourceful. The goal is, as I think you said the other day when I was on your session, we almost try to compete against our own best self and try to keep improving that way. Would you agree?
Yep. I got a quote that came in my feed today from Zig Ziglar. A mistake is an event. It's not a life. It's not a lifetime sentence. It's just an event. So what I try to do is I try to meet the athlete where they are. And what I'm seeing, and I'm guessing you're seeing it too, is everybody is reacting and experiencing the COVID pandemic in a different way.
Yes.
And it's introducing a new level of anxiety and stress, and specifically for athletes who want to play, right? And what we're seeing on the high school level is a start-stop. What we're seeing in the collegiate level, in some cases, there was no season. And so how do we help athletes deal with the anxiety that comes with the COVID, that comes with the uncertainty of the unknown?
Right. And what are some of the specific things, Ann, you've done as far as helping people kind of, especially teenagers, because there's so much change going on with them. What are some of the ways that you've done, that as far as trying to reduce the stress and anxiety? Because we both know that stress and anxiety definitely hurt performance. There's no question about it, because they're out of the zone. They're almost at too high of a level. Versus, trying to hit that right zone. So what are some of the things that you try to do to help these student athletes?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So on a macro, if you put the COVID to the side for a minute, most athletes create stress and angst by placing unrealistic expectations on
Mhm.
themselves, and that's often tied highly to perfectionism.
Mhm.
A part of what I try to do is help them recognize what's causing it. And in this world of COVID, there's a process I take athletes through where I want them to just raise their awareness
Mhm.
I want them to know what they want, understand what's in the way, how's it makes them feel, and then have clarity around what helps them manage the feelings of anxiety and stress.
Mhm.
And so, one of the tools introduced with everybody is just how to use your breath, right?
Mhm.
And I'm a fan of teaching slowing your breath down with a power word on inhale and a power word on exhale. So if I have anxiety, my breath is quick, my thoughts are negative.
Mhm.
Can I inhale calm, exhale confidence?
Mhm.
So then I'm in control of my body, and now I'm in control of my thoughts.
Mhm.
The second, which is about, I released these in March or April. I have 3 custom student athlete meditations. And so if an athlete works with me one on one or in a group, we close that session with a meditation. And the meditations they also have available on right from their mobile. One is called Letting Go. It's a very physical meditation. The second is Calm, and the third is Best Self. And I partnered with stress reduction specialists to craft them to deal with what's going on in the head. I'm an athlete and a student, and I'm trying to be my best, and I'm constantly trying to be my best. So how can I use meditation to quiet the mind?
Mhm.
Right. And then the third, specifically when perfectionism shows up, I have an exercise where there's a list of, say, 12 behaviors. And I'll ask the athlete to identify which behaviors are true for you. So, an example, I can never work too hard, right? And I have to be perfect. So if that's my belief, and if I'm a tennis player and I hit the ball long, I'm thinking I'm worthless. And the goal of this discussion is to identify what are the beliefs you have, how do those beliefs impact your performance, and then how could we shift that belief? I actually just did that this morning with an athlete. And, if I don't play well, people will think I'm unworthy.
Mhm.
I'm like, your parents love you, your coach respects you, your teammates respect you, independent of a great game, a not so great game. You're worthy, you're enough, regardless of how you play.
Mhm.
So it's complex,
Yeah.
but I would say the big thing is really if they're simple, the simple is getting athletes to use their breath, use meditation, and raise their awareness to their self-talk. And if it's not a champion of yours, rewrite it.
Right, right. No, very good. I really like that idea, and you kind of spur certain thoughts in this direction, and one of which is that, and I've noticed this with athletes, anybody who's a perfectionist, more times than not, you're going to see them potentially as a choker. The goal is, and I try to get this across to my kids, you want to be excellent. And what's the definition of excellent? Preparing the best you can. And then as you prepare the best you can, you perform the best you can given the circumstances. There's going to be times you're in there over your head in a competition. Just battle and fight, give it everything you've got, make sure you're prepared. But don't get caught up in perfectionism, because there's only one person that's perfect, and we know who that is, and it's not us. And I have a saying that I've used with a lot of my players and other coaches that I've talked to. It's not the one that plays the best, the one that chokes the least. We've both seen ugly wins where somebody finally staggers across the finish line and actually wins. But oh my goodness, it was ugly. So the idea of the goal of just being excellent is a very, very important mindset, I think, to have. So I think I really liked what you were saying there.
Yeah, so this is fun for me because your gift is in working with athletes on a broad basis, and in tennis, right? And I have only worked with tennis folks a little bit.
I
Like,
did a lot of wrestlers too, and I've coached other kids, but it's mostly been wrestling and tennis. Yes.
I have wrestling too, right? So, it's interesting. I just did it this morning because what I am seeing is the anxiety and stress is through the roof. So today I was very intentional to teach an athlete tapping. So I'm not certified in tapping, but I personally tap every morning.
Can you explain what that is, Ann?
Yeah, so tapping is a process where you physically tap on certain points of your body with a mantra to help reduce stress. And so there's actually an app, it's a tapping app, but this is how I do it today. You tap on the side of your hand, and then above your brows, I'll take my glasses off, below your brows, below, here and here. And you might have a mantra as you're going through it. So the first mantra might be, I accept and acknowledge how I'm feeling. And you're saying that over. And then the second, for me, I say release. And that is really like release the stress, release the stress. And then the third is you pick a word that matters for you today. So for me, my word is often focus, but if someone has high anxiety, it might be calm. So you're just going calm, 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 calm. And I actually tap in the shower every day. And the athlete I was chatting with this morning said to me about a week ago, I would tell you my anxiety was an 8. And today I'll tell you my anxiety is about a 5.
Okay.
And I'm using the calm meditation. I'm using my breath and a couple other routines every day that's making a difference. And then so that really her commitment to the meditation opened the door for me to say, can I teach you one more thing? And literally I do it every day in the shower.
Yeah. Well, it's another term for what you're doing. And I love it is it's anchoring. When you touch a certain body part or whatever, your wrist or hand or whatever, your forehead, along with those, affirmations, you're literally anchoring in there as far as, along with your breathing, anchoring that thing through the nervous system. And I really like that. Those are great, great ideas and great tips. That's for sure. Absolutely. Definitely like those a great deal.
So I'm going to pivot to the book and just talk a little bit about why I created the book, right? Not every athlete gets to work with someone like you and me. Right. And there's a lot of reasons, one of the reasons is sometimes people think, oh, that's weird. And you and I are both trying to change the paradigm. Your elite athletes work with mental performance coaches, work on mindfulness. And we need to just bring that down to the youth space so that our youth enjoy sports more and stay in the game more and have the coping skills. So I created the journal as a way to weave mental performance skills into a tool that anybody can have access to. And it's really a roadmap for success in sports and in life. In the beginning of the book, there's 8 fundamental questions that really help the athlete just kind of get anchored.
Those were great, by the way. And please read those questions, Ann, because I was looking at them today and very, very impressed. So, if you want to share those questions, that would be super.
Sure. So the first question is, how will you be remembered? When your sport's over, what will you be remembered for? What will your legacy be? And that's to me a Covey thing, Stephen Covey, begin with the end in mind. And very few people, I think when they're done, I want to be remembered as a jerk, right? but you're intentional to say, I want to be remembered as someone who had, worked hard, was fun to be around, included everybody, and you call that out, then you now have really put it in writing, like who you want to be. The second is, what values drive your actions?
Mhm.
Again, that, that when your career's over, you don't want to be known as a jerk,
Mhm.
right?
Yep,
And
yep.
so if you actually are intentional to kind of go, what values drive your actions and what values are most important to you, then are you acting in concert with that? So I'll give an example. When my kids were younger, they all swam at one point, and you could swim Friday night,
Mhm.
Saturday night, Sunday night. We could swim the entire weekend.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, we're not going on Sunday. We go to church. Like that was a value we put in the stake at that time because we were not a swim family. We
Mhm.
just did it for fun.
Mhm.
The third question, what are your big dream goals? And here I'm pretty intentional to say, write your goals as if you accomplished them.
Mhm.
So if you're a high school athlete aspiring to play in college, you write it as, I'm playing basketball at the college of my choice well,
Mhm.
right? So to get in that habit of seeing it happening. The fourth is, what will you not pursue in your goals, right? So when you are very focused on what you want, decision making is clear.
Mhm.
But when you're not so certain on what you want, you can get tempted by distractions.
Mhm.
So here I'm asking you, what will you not do? Are you going to argue with the officials, the refs? Are you going to cheat, disrespect teammates,
Uh-huh.
hazing, bullying? Like, what will you not do in pursuit of your goals? And of all these distractions, which one is the most difficult for you? Right. And
Mhm.
if it's difficult, what would removing that temptation, right? So maybe a lot of high school kids just binging on social media, Netflix.
Mhm.
What would eliminating that distraction do for you? Give me 4 hours a week, help me sleep better. And then number five was really helped a parent help author this one, which is around self-care.
Mhm.
Athletes will overtrain. Athletes will be overcritical due to one poor performance. And here I list the list of important self-care items. And again, I want the athlete to say, which self-care habit do you need to spend the most time practicing?
Mhm.
I don't know if you see it, but I have a lot of athletes who might have a weekend competition. They're not fueling their body. They don't want to eat.
Right. Mhm.
You tell me how you play all day Saturday and all day Sunday without eating and fueling your body,
Right. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
right? Question 6 is really around time management. Question 7 is understanding what you can control,
Mhm.
right? And when you have clarity on what you can control and you put your energy on what you can control, your anxiety, your stress can come down. I
Mhm.
can't control the weather. I actually can't control playing time. I can't control my coach's decisions.
Mhm.
I can control my attitude, my effort, my discipline, my leadership.
Mhm.
And so if I anchor on what I can control, I can manage my stress better. And then question 8 is really around, what mental performance skill do you need to improve upon? So that's really the opening framework of the book. And
Mhm.
then we move into daily reflections.
Mhm.
And then with the daily reflections, what we're challenging the athlete to do is to think about certain themes. What's my dream goal? Every day you're writing, I won. This is what I accomplished. What am I grateful for today? What did I do today that I'm proud of?
Mhm.
So many athletes are walking around with their last mistake, their
Uh-huh.
last poor performance. I want them to be able to say, what am I grateful for? What am I proud of? What's one thing I can learn or improve? How did I lead? And what's important now? Too often we're like worried about 2 weeks from now. Bring it to where your feet are. What's important now?
Mhm.
So I did a lot of talking there. There's a lot
Oh,
of,
no,
a
that's
lot of
fine.
content in
I
the
love
book.
it. I love it. It's good. Good. Excellent. Um, I like the idea of kind of getting the student athlete aware of kind of looking to stay present moment. And I've always, one of the things, because coaching guys is a lot different than coaching girls, as you probably know. And my tennis girls I handle quite a bit differently than my tennis guys. And one of the best ways to take pressure, and the girls, they want to win as much as the guys, sometimes more so. It's you get competitive girls and they really want to win. What I try to emphasize to them is the goal is to prepare and play well. And the byproduct of that is being able to uh, learn the life lessons. Okay. And the other thing I try to point out, listen, in Major League Baseball, it's literally one guy out of 8,000 are going to make the major leagues. And God love you. Hey, if you're good enough, you got the talent to get there and the work ethic to get there, fantastic. In the NBA, the odds are even smaller because, there's fewer players. And so the idea that, oh, my kid's going to go to the NBA, my kid's going to get Major League Baseball. Hey, great if they do. But far and away, the most important thing are the life lessons. And that, once we understand, when you get knocked down, you get back up, that takes a huge amount of stress, in my view and my coaching, off the kid themselves. If you prepared well, you give it everything you got, and you just let the chips, kind of go where they're going to go. I really think that's important.
Yep. The life lessons are invaluable. I want the athlete to enjoy the journey.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just enjoy the
Yes.
journey, right? You're a sophomore in college, you are a junior in high school. That window is over like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really want them to enjoy the journey. Today, one of my conversations with an athlete was, tell me when the game was just so much fun. And the athlete went back to a moment when they were 8. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
can you get a picture of that?
Yeah.
Right. That's why you play.
Yeah.
That's why you're playing, right? we're caught up in all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But remember that kid, how much fun it was.
Yeah.
Right. And you choose the word excellent. I have lately been using do you want to be on team relentless or team perfection?
Uh-huh.
And everybody will say team relentless. I go, all right, tell me what does that look like?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So which team is going to make more mistakes? Team relentless.
Uh-huh.
So you sure, Miss Perfect, Mr. Perfect, you sure you want to come over and be on Team Relentless, right? And then, depending on their sport, who do you admire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to find whoever you admire at the next level, they make all the same mistakes.
That's right.
But when they're relentless, they don't even see the mistake, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're in that next play.
Right. No, I like that. I like that distinction, and that's really, really good. What would you say is some of your best advice as far as teenagers, young adults, as far as if I could get one or two more nuggets from you, kind of before we close here, one or two nuggets on close it out here.
Oh, he's gone.
Fix this for me. We'll try to. I'll view it and everything, and if it's not too horrendous, we'll go with it. But if it's something that he can,
We should be able to just cut it out.
that's what
We
I'm
should-
thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
yeah.
So one or two nuggets, Ann, before we kind of wrap it up here, as far as dealing with a teenage guy, teenage girl, whatever.
Yeah, one of my favorite exercises that I like to do if I'm one-on-one or in a large group, I like to ask athletes to tell me about their best moment in sport.
Mm-hmm.
When I ask them that, they light up and they can tell me to a T.
Mm-hmm.
And I use that exercise to set the stage for how to visualize.
Mm-hmm.
And the more we can just see the picture, describe the picture, and engage all our senses, the greater the likelihood we can actually visualize. And I use that to kind of set the stage, then teach an athlete to replay those great moments in sports because they're true. They really happened. And when you replay them, it fuels your confidence. You did it once, you can do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And to use visualization in partnership with maybe looking at highlight video. A lot of kids have huddle accounts
Sure.
where their parents have that great moment on video. And to be open to just look at bam, I played well, right? Your NFL kickers, they may look at some video of what they missed, but these guys getting ready for the Super Bowl, they're only looking at their successes from all different lengths, all different angles, right? So can you raise your awareness to what the chatter is in your head?
Mm-hmm.
Can you use tools like recalling your best moment in sport, changing the narrative, looking at positive highlight video to help you walk around with a positive highlight reel?
Yeah, that is so good, Ann. I absolutely again, you're running the positive things through your nervous system as far as, in fact, they said the great Jack Nicklaus, what he would do is if he had a shot that was off a little bit, he would immediately go back and just visualize and actually take another practice swing and then actually see the ball going where he actually wanted it, even if it didn't go there when he did it. He was one of the first visualizers that was, pretty well known, but obviously it's all the, so many more people are doing those things now, but you're right. Visualize the shot or the event as you want it. Very, very important. Definitely agree there. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so can I share one
yeah,
more?
absolutely. Absolutely.
I learned this from one of my college athletes recently. So lacrosse player,
Mhm,
and took a shot at practice, and he said it would have been awesome, but I missed.
mhm.
And he goes, the old me would have been really aggravated. He's like, the new me was like, what if it had connected?
Uh-huh.
Right. So I just that decision not to berate yourself for missing.
Mhm,
And just kind of, what did I learn? And gosh, what if that had connected? That would have been gold.
mhm, mhm.
And I found that that's a really nice perspective that I'm paying forward. So I shared a lot. You got to tell me one of your best.
Well, it goes along with what you're saying, and it's when I do this as far as my tennis kids are concerned, is that when they hit a good shot, they kind of I learned this, from Tony Robbins years ago, and that is you go yes, yes, okay. You add a lot of the emotion onto a result that really went very, very well, and let's say you have a shot that you kind of shanked or whatever. Just like I say, take a couple deep breaths. Do not emotionalize that, because then you're not, whatever you run with emotion through your nervous system, you're gonna get more of those. So really emotionalize, yes, the ones that really hit well for you, and then the ones that don't, short memory, and do your very best to lower the emotion on this. I remember years ago I was at the U.S. Tennis Open. Some guy named Bjorn Borg, who I know you're familiar with. I was down there right down. It was early in the matches. It was probably the first or second round, and I'm sitting right down there in the box seats there. And anyway, Borg hits his shot. Boom! It goes right up into the second story or second group of bleachers. And all he did was he looked at it, just calmly walked back to the center and just got ready to go again. There was no emotion at all. He wasn't a real emotional player anyway. But I just think of myself, if that guy, who at the time was number one in the world, can shank a shot way up there and just let it go, that really impressed me. And I've used that with my kids quite a bit. So that emotion, when you do something real well, that's when you want to have yourself fired up. Yes, that's me, versus the idea that if you have a miss hit or whatever, you just try to calmly let it go. And so we're saying the same thing basically.
I like your tip on that. Just the yes on the positive. The
Yeah,
yes.
with a fist or some kind of, whether you could do one of your taps, or whatever, depending on what's appropriate. Yes, absolutely.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what? It's such an opportunity. We have people working so hard on their sport,
Mhm,
and the mental piece is really important. And if they add the mental piece to their physical investment,
mhm.
it can change the game.
Yeah, 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 definitely agree, Ann. Well, this has been wonderful. I do appreciate your time here. I will be reviewing this just to make sure that everything comes out okay. And but I appreciate your time very, very much. Any last parting thought before we close it up? And please stick around afterwards, because I'll talk to you just for a second when the recording's off.
Yeah, just to anyone, what you think, and think, believe, achieve, right?
Mhm.
Be aware of your thoughts. And if they
Think,
don't
believe,
serve,
achieve, just like what you have right on your book here. I love it. I love it. Excellent. Excellent. So, well, thank you, Ann. This has been wonderful. And just a reminder for anybody watching this, please take a minute to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Playing It Forward Coaching. There's lots of great interviews like I just had with Ann here, and can help any kind of athletes. And there's other life lessons that we're trying to teach here as well. So, Ann, thank you so very, very much. I do appreciate it.
oh, my honor. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, dear. Okay. Bye-bye.